Hello there, gamerinos and gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm. This is Rady, and today I'm going to tell you whether or not Here Comes Niko is worth your while. This game is a cute and colorful little 3D collectathon platformer that describes itself as a platformer for tired people. So it wants you to just chill, have a good time. Just explore this little world, complete a few tasks at your own leisure, and yeah, just have some good old fun playing a television game. The game was produced and published by Gers for Breakfast, who created one of my favorite collectathon platformers, namely A Hat in Time. But this game isn't anything like A Hat in Time. And aside from a neat little cameo, the game didn't have any influence on Here Comes Niko. In this game you are a child that ran away from home because of some vague family drama and found a new place to live and applied for a new job as a professional friend. And as a professional friend, you now have to traverse all the islands of this frog land and be nice to others and help them and play with them and hang out with them to earn coins. Coins you need to fix or clear the rails so that your train can move onward towards another island. So yeah, these coins are the same as power stars, jiggies, golden bananas, or whatever else you collect in a collectathon platformer. It's just a bit more quirky. Just the thought of you being paid for, well, being nice to others. But I mean, you're not just a friend, you are a professional friend. The different environments aren't too big, but still full of all kinds of nooks and crannies. And you have to keep your eyes open at least a little bit to find all the cassette tapes and keys and especially the hidden letters. There are also apples and bugs everywhere, and while you find out pretty early that you need the bugs to trade them for a coin, you won't have a use for all the apples and you will collect hundreds of them until you reach the final level. And this might be part of a bigger problem with the game, so you collect stuff just because. You get thrown into the first level and you are told to help the people to collect coins, and you know that you have to trade in your coins at the train station to go to the next island. But there's no explanation for these cassette tapes. You just collect them and that's it. A few islands later there will be an NPC that trades a coin for 5 cassette tapes, but there's no mention of it beforehand. And then after you've met this NPC, you can go back to earlier levels to hand in your cassette tapes there as well. There are a few other NPCs that do the same thing, so you will stumble across some places that looked interesting but don't serve any purpose, until you revisit the level to find an NPC from another level. And this can be a bit confusing, but it's not too bad. Especially since in 2 later levels you'll find a telephone list that has your character texting to all the NPCs and kinda implies that you've told them about the other places and now they visit them or something like that. So you will get a notice after something has changed, but on your first visit in a level you will still come across some places that just leave you, well, pondering. The challenges are all not too hard. It's a pretty easy and chill game. There are a handful of challenges that demand a bit of dexterity and some brain teasers, but there is never a real fail state. You can always try again, you can never be hurt, you can never die. There is one challenge that you might be able to fuck up, but you can press one button to start over and even keep all the progress you have made. And that's not a bad thing. This is a cozy game. A game you play when you want to be stimulated, but not work too hard. In that regard, it's a lot like a short hike. Though I think a short hike nailed the whole concept a lot better. Still, this game and games like it deserve a place in the gaming landscape. It's good old family-friendly fun with some weird humor. Playing through the game doesn't take too long, maybe 3 or 4 hours. And revisiting all the levels and complete it might take 1 or 2 hours more. And while these levels all look very pleasant, they don't have much going for them. You can talk to a handful of NPCs, and more often than not, the dialogue is entertaining and chuckle-worthy, but there's no reason to hang out in a level after you completed all your tasks. Yeah, the levels look nice, but that's it. The level aesthetics are a nice and pleasant backdrop for when you play through the challenges. And I mean, they do their job pretty well, but there's not much substance beneath it. This is not a world you can get lost in. It's more a children's playground. You can find some fun things in here, and there's some pretty cool looking stuff, but it doesn't take long for you to have seen pretty much everything. Which wouldn't be a problem were the game not pretty expensive. So this game costs about 20 euros or dollars. And yeah, I think it's quite expensive. I do like this game. I like the art style. I like this casual, chill approach to the 3D collectathon genre. I like the weird random humor. But yeah, the only reason I paid 20 euros for this was that Gers for Breakfast heavily promoted it and published it. I didn't expect Hat in Time 2. I didn't expect a game in the style of a Hat in Time. But I expected a bit more substance. I expected a bit more polish, and that's rich because Hat in Time itself is a rough gem. But still, a Hat in Time didn't cost more when it first released. Its first expansion was free for everyone who already owned the main game, and for everyone else it cost like $3. And its second expansion, that was a huge level full of moving parts, cost, I believe, about $6 or $7. I'm pretty sure it was less than $10. So you got quite a substantial game, quite a big game, and a lot of extra content for the same price, and with all the DLC a few dollars more as this game. This game that sports a lot of creative ideas, but not much depth gameplay-wise. Yeah, every level has a volleyball minigame, but the devs didn't really program some volleyball mechanics or physics. Whenever you hit the ball, it flies straight to the immovable opponent. And after that, the ball flies to a random position on your side of the field. It doesn't matter from which angle you hit the ball, and as long as you touch it before it hits the ground, it counts as a point, and there's never a possibility that the ball will hit the net or fly out of the playing field. There's a fishing minigame that pretty much does the same. You have to jump into the water while being tied to a fishing rod to collect fish. And you can see the fish kinda jumping out of the water, and you have to land in their general vicinity to collect them. And if you're too far away from any fish, you collect some random junk object. It doesn't matter if your fishing line clips through the environment, because after you hit the water and collected a fish or junk, your character won't have any collision with anything, so that you can be hauled in without any problem. And no, this doesn't make it a bad game. It just appears a bit cheap when you consider that you have to pay 20 euros for this. So I guess this is my verdict for this game. It's a good game if you want a relaxing platforming experience. If you don't want complicated mechanics. if you don't want complicated tasks, if you just want to jump around and explore this little world and have a good time, then this game could be a lot of fun. But don't pay more than 10 euros or dollar for it. Anything more is a bit of a rip-off. So I guess you have to wait for a sale. And that also means I advise against buying the planned Nintendo Switch release, because you'll never get a good discount on Nintendo Switch. Well, maybe not never, but most of the time Switch games stay pretty expensive even with a discount. So yeah, stay on PC with this one. Yeah, it pains me a bit to say that, because I really do like this game, I like its charm, but I cannot in good faith ask you to pay this much for this game. Well, and with that, I guess I bid you adieu. Have a great day, and I hope to see you again on the next game.